Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about a very interesting and special topic. And I just think it's really just for fun. And it's obviously going to be what's going to make more money, Superman or Fantastic Four? Obviously the two biggest movies for us comic book fans, or I just think really even movie fans this year. They're going to be massive movies and I can't wait. Tickets for Fantastic Four came out on Wednesday, so I thought it would be a pretty interesting thing to talk about. Fantastic Four already broke some records for movies this year, so it just made me think that it would be a pretty good time to talk about it. And I don't know when else we can talk about it because they almost come out soon, which I'm excited for. So, with that being said, let's get into it. We're gonna first talk about both movies individually. We'll start with Superman since it comes out first, then we'll talk about Fantastic Four, and then we'll talk about the battle. Okay, so first we have Superman, which is going to be a fresh start for Superman and the DC universe overall, being led by James Gunn, David Cornsweet. Yeah, you know. So Superman doesn't really have that many surprises, which I think is at a disadvantage, really. But it could also be an advantage depending on which way you look at it, and it's going to be interesting to see on how fans look at it. Superman, I think it's a lot more clear what's going to happen, what the story is going to be about, what the purpose is about. And I think that kind of gives it an advantage and a disadvantage. An advantage because, there's less of a potential that you mess it up. And there's also less potential that you make a lot of money by surprising people. You know what I mean? Um, I think Superman will probably have better word of mouth because, it's Superman. He's the biggest superhero of all time. Fantastic Four are some of the biggest characters in Marvel, but they're going against Superman, who's probably the biggest superhero of all time. So, yes, they're both A-listers, and yes, they're both top-tier characters in their respective universes, but Superman outdoes them realistically. So, Superman, the advantage it also has is I think it's going to be a lot more of a important story and a relatable story. Um, I feel like we all just could use Superman. I think the good news is that both these movies will be the best iterations that we've ever seen these characters. That's obviously a really big hope, but it's also what I truly think. I think from what we've seen from both these movies, they look amazing, and I cannot wait for both of them, which is great. It's good that we can have this conversation and they both feel I can't pick a side. It's very hard. We will pick a side at the end of the video, but just stay tuned. Okay, so that's really all I'm going to talk about for Superman for now. Then we'll go on to Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is obviously a continuation of the MCU. It's them just now getting some of their most popular characters. So that's what the MCU has going for them. The thing is that it might be a little late. The MCU has been kind of going downhill, but also another thing that kind of counters that is this is a self-contained story. It doesn't seem like you have to watch any other MCU movie to understand it or any other Fantastic Four movie to understand it. You have to have some kind of knowledge of them. It seems like they're going to skip the origin, but so is Superman. So I think they're both very similar in that way. And I think that kind of takes away some of the disadvantages of Fantastic Four. So I think that's good. The Fantastic Four seems like a breath of fresh air for the MCU. And it also seems like it's going to tie into the Avengers movies, which might help it, probably will help it a whole lot. So let's talk about the things that I think are going to really determine this battle. I think the first thing we have to talk about is the trailers. Which trailer looks better? And this I'm not giving you guys an answer for. I just don't know. It depends what you like. Maybe Superman, maybe Fantastic Four. I could not tell you. They have not put out a single bad trailer in either one of these movies. There's things that worry me in the trailers, but overall the trailers are great, both of them. But what I can tell you is the Superman trailers have gotten significantly more views than Fantastic Four trailers. So that might be a little bit alarming, but I think that's like what we said before. He's just the bigger character, and trailer views don't mean anything if the people watching the trailers aren't going to show up in the theater and actually see the movie. You know, there's a lot of DC fans on the internet who love DC, but when it's time to go see the movies in theaters, they don't show up that often. That's probably because most of the movies are bad most of the time, but you know, if this is good, they're gonna have to show up. And I think they will because it's the start of a whole new universe. So, yeah. Next, I want to talk about the cast because for casual people, I think the cast is going to be a big thing. The cast I'm giving to Fantastic Four pretty easily. Don't get me wrong, both casts are great, but if you look at the Fantastic Four, you have Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, who gets that Star Wars fandom and The Last of Us fandom evolved. They get Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, which is going to maybe get some Fast and Furious fans involved. She's not really in the main movie, so I'm not too sold on that. But still, I think she's a bigger name than most people in the Superman movie. Then we have Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, who's going to get the Stranger Things fans involved. And, you know, his character is new in that show, but in that one season he was in, he was one of the most likable characters. And I know a lot of people love him, and a lot of people will be excited to see him. So I don't know a lot about The Thing. I don't know what movies Evan Moss Backrack has been in, and I know he's been in I think it was The Bear. So I'm pretty sure that's a good show that people were hyping up. I have not seen it. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's been in other things. Either way, I think Fantastic Four wins this category. The next thing that I want to talk about, which is less important, but it's still very important, the directors and the writers and all the stuff behind the scenes. Not that you're going to see in the trailers, but if you have any knowledge about the movie, like James Gunn and Matt Shakman don't appear in the trailers, obviously, but if you know behind the scenes stuff and you know they're directing the movies, that does have an implication. I don't think a lot of people care about it. I don't know. I go to movies all the time where I don't know who directed the movie. But if you do pay attention to that, the Superman does have Fantastic Four beat. James Gunn's track record is insane. He has not missed. So I think Superman will be a very good movie, but I also think Fantastic Four will be a good movie too. So here's what's ultimately going to decide this. What movie's better, I think, is just going to be the way to decide it. Because me personally, I will see both movies in theaters probably opening night. So which one am I going to see twice? I don't know. It's going to be which one's better, which one has a better message, which one I like more. Now, I'm going to save my answer for the end of the video, but Fantastic Four does have another thing that could bump it a little bit, but I don't think it will. Fantastic Four has the MCU effect where the last movie they just had tied into Fantastic Four. The Thunderbolts post-credit scene teased the Fantastic Four, and everybody who saw that will probably come and watch Fantastic Four as if they weren't already. The problem with that is Thunderbolts is flopping pretty bad at the box office right now. So the people who did actually decide to go see that movie and give it a chance probably were already going to come see Fantastic Four because that's the bigger movie out of the two. So I don't think it really helps all that much. The Doomsday casting chairs also might help. All the Fantastic Four were confirmed to be in Doomsday, so if you don't really watch Marvel and you're out of it, but you really care about the Avengers movies, maybe you'll see the Fantastic Four movie. And Fantastic Four also has the opportunity where Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom could appear in a post-credit scene, or the post-credit scene will probably be big and tied into the next Avengers movies. So I think it's going to get money off of that. All that being said, Superman does have some surprises it could have. Who knows? The wildest thing I could think of is maybe they reveal Batman in this universe. I'm not really putting money on it. I'm assuming it's probably just a Supergirl tease since it's the next movie, but I'm not really sure that's going to be able to compete with the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom reveal that could be in Fantastic Four. So, like I said, what's going to ultimately decide this all is what movie's just better, which one has a stronger message, and which one resonates with the fans more. And to that, I have to go Superman. And The reason why I'm saying that is for a couple reasons. I think it's a fresh start. It's a bright Superman. He's done right. I think if you look at their past movies, the Fantastic Four have had better iterations than I think Superman. That's gonna be a completely hot take. I'm probably gonna get flamed in the comments for that. The old school stuff, it's good, but it doesn't hold up with stuff today. We have not gotten a good Superman movie that feels like Superman. We have not gotten a great Fantastic Four movie that feels like Fantastic Four. But I think the Fantastic Four movies have been closer to it, which helps and hurts. A lot of the stuff in this conversation could help the movies, but also could hurt the movies. Fantastic Four have gotten better live action, theatrical iterations. And I think that helps it, but I also think that Superman not having the greatest ones is going to help this one that looks like it's going to be the first one. I think people are going to freak out, and I think Superman's really necessary in this day and age. I think a lot of people are going to want to see this movie, and I think that the message will be strong. I think it's going to win over a lot of fans, and I think Fantastic Four will too, but I think Superman is going to do it more, and I honestly think it's more important for Superman to succeed than Fantastic Four. I think both these movies will get $1 billion. I don't know how, but I feel like if I had the money, I would see these movies. If they're even 80% of how good I think they're going to be, then I would see these movies countless times over and over and over again in theaters. So that just shows my level of excitement for these movies. It was so hard picking between these. It's like picking a kid. But yeah, that's just my thoughts at the end of the day. Please let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm super interested because it's really hard. I'm excited though because, like I said, these look like they're going to be the best live action theatrical iterations of these characters. It's going to be the best Superman that we've ever had, the best Fantastic Four we've ever had. We just got Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Batman, which I think is the best Batman we've ever seen. I think they finally got the character right there. I'm assuming that Superman and Fantastic Four are going to get the same thing. The MCU's X-Men is going to get the same thing. And now all that's left after this is please, God, please, just Tom Holland Spider-Man 4. Just get it right. Street level, The Hulk rumor, we never talked about that, but I don't know. I just really hope it's grounded and good. Because Spider-Man needs his treatment too. These are the biggest characters ever, and they need to be done justice. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I know there's some hot takes. I know you guys are probably going to agree. Some of you are probably going to disagree. But yeah, let's just have a civil conversation in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.